If you're working late again and again, and this is something that is repeatedly happening because you're filling in the gaps or you're fixing something that an underperformer on your team consistently underdelivers, then you are paying more for this than just your time in those late night evenings. You are actually paying what I call the mental and emotional toll. Okay, and that's what I'm going to break down in this video. So the mental and emotional toll is actually one of 6 hidden costs to make up this whole series on this grand concept that I call the compensation tax. And this is the overlooked, hidden, compounding profit and time leaks that occur when founders habitually compensate for team dysfunction. So in terms of the mental and emotional toll, all of that time that is spent redoing isn't just a simple annoyance, okay? It mostly shows up actually in its effect on your peace of mind for you as the founder, which is obviously the most important person. So if this is of interest, then I'm going to break it down for you in the next clip, okay? So with that being the case, time leak number 1, mental and emotional toll, okay? So let's just look at the underperformer one more time, right? We looked at the double payroll in terms of profit leaks. What does the underperformer look like in terms of time leaks? So underperformer, go home at 5 p.m., right? When 5 p.m. hits, they check out. They're basically now thinking, how do I make my evenings enjoyable? Okay. That's not the case for you. Because generally, when 5 p.m. hits, you, as the founder compensating for the underperformer, you end up starting your work at this point. Okay. This is where all the compensation occurs because you've just had to deal with all the fires up to 5 p.m. So now we get into this massive cycle of compensation, and this is where it starts. So as we've mentioned, what that looks like is your evenings are spent redoing the work, right? Worrying about all the stuff that's happening, overanalyzing. And that means your time isn't just passing away kind of willy-nilly, right? It's not just time taking away. This is actual time that drains your mental and emotional capacity for all of the important things that you need to do. So it is about the quality of the time, not just the quantity of the time. Okay. In essence, what this time leak is about is based on the foundation that like all time isn't created equal. You passing time is I watch an hour watching a show or I pass an hour watching a show on Netflix. Okay. That's not equal to I was inspired for an hour to solve this big problem we have in our business versus I spent an hour stressed out because I was redoing somebody else's work. Okay. That is a time leak. That is a mental and emotional toll leak that essentially can't be replenished. Profit leaks can be reallocated and recaptured, but not time leaks. Okay. And this is important because, as you know, strategic, creative thinking, inspiration time, that needs space in order to occur. That is your highest leverage time as the leader, as the CEO, and as the founder. Okay. And as I was saying before, profit leaks are replaceable. Mental emotional bandwidth is not. And when time leaks compound, okay, that is what's paid as the compensation tax. Okay. And now we are further and further removing away from like, okay, what are the things that I can actually visibly see in terms of the P&L statement? But like the irony is the less you can see it, the more real it ends up being in terms of what it costs you. Okay. It's invisible, but it is a major factor in your growth ceiling. What you just saw was the breakdown of the mental and emotional toll, which is one of 6 costs that make up the compensation tax. So that is the cumulative effect of all the profit and time leaks that occur when founders habitually compensate for team dysfunction. If the mental emotional toll resonated with you, there's a high chance that the other 5 are going to resonate with you as well. So if you want the breakdown of those, what to do about them, check out the full compensation tax video in the links below. Otherwise, subscribe, like for more videos on how to be a better human behind the entrepreneur.